We have a good team of young ladies.
I think
from
so.
the 2024 group that is going to be the leaders and the mentors of the 2025 team.
I love it. How did you feel about today?
I really liked it.
Yes.
And hearing you guys talk about y'all experience.
Okay. All right. How do you feel about your charge, your responsibility as delegates?
It's big. It's now wrapping up for us.
But that's just the beginning, though, right? I mean, you don't erase this from your psyche,
100%.
right? You take it with you. And then when you go into your new spaces, when you're in college and wherever you're going, NYU, if they give you some money, you get to talk about the stuff, right, with your peers when you get there and share your experience. It's amazing. You know, this is a big, big deal. I'm like 60 years old, right? Just turned 60 last year. You know, I never ever went to our city council offices in California.
Wow.
We didn't have access like this. You just didn't go to Mario's and see your city councilwoman in there buying fish, right? It just didn't happen. And this is the beautiful thing about Nevada is that you have access and you can call and get questions answered and be interns and, you know, just have people who are in leadership really, really nearby. If you don't take advantage of that, you're crazy. I mean, this is crazy. Like crazy. I didn't know this. When I was coming up, council person, commissioner, we see Commissioner Weekly and William McCurdy and folk all in the neighborhood. We can see these people. I couldn't go to them and say, you know, I have a dream and I want a chance to try something. And they say, oh, well, just call so-and-so. Call this one and call that one. And you actually get somebody to answer the phone. Didn't happen. This is special in Nevada. Please, please, please use it to its full advantage. So you are right now in Lillian's library. I'm Lillian. So some girlfriends of mine, I'm pretty corny. I've always been just sort of goofy and and loved libraries as a kid. It was a safe place to go. Always loved to read, loved romance novels. Just always loved to read. And my girlfriends nicknamed me Lillian the Librarian. And so this embodies who I am. I love books. I love to travel. I love old things. You're sitting on some chairs I rescued from a salvage yard.
That was good.
This sofa was a secondhand sofa that I rescued from a store. These chairs I bought on OfferUp, as well as the credenza there. The desk came from a secondhand store. The burgundy chair came from a Facebook Marketplace. The pictures I brought with me from the legislature, they mean so much for my time there. And then people gave me, like this was given to me. This came out of the garage. So even old ladies like me have little ideas in our little hearts. And at one point, I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I went to an all-white high school. There were maybe 10 Black families and maybe 5 Latino families and 1 or 2 Asian families. And the lady who ran the design step at school told me that because I don't know how to draw, I could never be a designer. I was crestfallen. Like I was hurt. And so then I had to try and figure out what other dream I wanted to have. But I've always had an interest in interior design and fashion. And so I just show it in every space. Miss Claire, we lived together. And Miss Venetia, they didn't do anything. They showed up. I found the place. I decorated the place. I got the plants, the rugs, the everything. They let me just be me And we lived together and had a lot of fun. But this is what I do at home, try to make a home and a space. I may not have a degree in it, but I have a passion for it. And so I just do what I do. And so this is Lillian's library. Everybody's like, purple. I was like, it's my color. So this is the space right here. And I wanted you all to see it so that you know that I'm regular. I do not have a degree. That's not the path I want for you, but it's the path I had to take. But I had to fight to get here. You can get here too. You should be here. You should be prepared to take over for when I'm done. You should be prepared. You should be looking to lead. It's not impossible, but you got to be like in the trenches. You got to really want it. Be prepared to do the work. It's not easy. So, any questions? Anything? Yes.
How did you get here? What led you on this path?
I've always been that person who wanted to help the underdog. So my parents, we lived in Oakland, California, deep east, 98th and Eads Avenue, like really, really in the hood. And
Sorry.
where are you from?
Oakland.
Where at?
Okay, sorry. I'm just like, when we see our people, we just kind of like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm from, I'm getting all nervous down here.
Don't be nervous.
So I went to Golden Gate Elementary, but I graduated from McClymonds High School.
Okay, Mac.
So
I would have been at Councilwoman.
And you know, we rivals, but we
I know, it's okay, but our choir is better than y'all choir.
It was,
okay.
it was. Our
Okay, I'm just saying the
y'all can
Castiliers.
sing, but we
The
could
Castiliers
okay.
was
Okay.
the real thing. I'm from the hood.
From
So
the back.
you know where 98.
You said 98. You said 98.
98th and
I can't
Eads.
nice nobody.
Okay.
It's
So
good.
my parents, my dad's a preacher, grandpa's a preacher, grandma, everybody church people. We Pentecostal, we go to church 6 days a week when I was coming up. But the thing that my parents always taught us is that we had to do for others. So we visited old people in the hospital. We visited old people in their homes, cleaned up when they couldn't do that kind of stuff, took meals, always did service. That was just the foundation of everything. And when I went to school, I was always the one looking out for the kids that was getting picked on. I was always talking up. I was always speaking up. I was always that chick. So we moved from Oakland to San Ramon, which is a sort of a shishi-poo-poo now suburb. When I was a kid, it was country town. There was, cows, peach trees, orange trees. And I was still that same kid, always in the library, always trying to speak up. And I ran for freshman class president, and I was elected. My theme was be a soul man, vote for coal man, because that was my party, right? But I loved it. Leadership, working with others, bringing people together. So I go through high school, super active at high school. Worked together with two of my girlfriends. They're Molly and Christina. Molly and Christina. So your name is white, right? Okay. Because but nobody else there. And we were tight and we did all these things. We did fundraisers. We had a speech and debate team. We're the first club for the National Forensics League, NFL. And so I did forensics. I did speech and debate, all the things. It was corny. I mean, Lillian the librarian, for real, I'm that girl. But I loved it. I loved being engaged in school and standing up for things. Graduated high school, met this guy, got married, way too young. Do not get married at 18. That's a no-no, because I did. Don't do that. We got married. I went to legal secretarial school in Sacramento, drove from Fairfield to Sacramento every day. My mom had a business at home, and so she taught us. I could type, I knew how to answer phones, I knew how to take shorthand, but I went and got a certificate. And got married and lived overseas for 4 years and had these two babies. and came back, ended up here. Didn't want to be here, I told you that. And then I knew I had to be here. So me and hubby number one got divorced. You know, we were still cool. He went off and did military stuff and I stuck around here. And then I got a job at the courthouse. I mean, when I tell you it was a blessing, when I tell you after I told God I would trust him, doors. So I worked at law firms here in town, and one of the attorneys called me one day. I was at a law firm, making no money, $23,000 a year, 2 kids, daycare, and a mortgage and a car. I was broke, y'all, broke. Every pay period, I had a piece of notebook paper, and I mean, I was counting every penny, trying to make it work. And she says, "Hi, Shondra." I said, "Hello, Miss Brown." She was an attorney. "There's a judge, he's looking for a secretary, and he wants to hire a Black woman." And I thought about you. Mind you, I hadn't worked for this woman in 2 years. All I did when I first got to her office in 1994, I was there on a Saturday doing some overtime, and she asked me to help her with something. And I said, "Yes, ma'am, of course." And I worked on the contract, did my, made the revision. You do your job, and you do a good job. She remembered that. And 2.5 years later, when she heard about this job, she called me. "I want you to go down there and apply." So I did. I got the job. First Black woman to be a judicial secretary in the history of the state of Nevada. For the first Black judge at district court level in the state of Nevada. His name was Judge Adelia D. Guy. He opened the door for me. And I was there 2 weeks, and he said, "I got this dude I want you to meet." I was like, first of all, I just got rid of one. He was like, no, he's a great guy. And he introduced me to Carl Armstrong, who's my husband, almost 31 years. So we got married. Judge Guy gave me away, and Carl and I started a life. And we decided that we wanted to move near downtown. So we live right here in 89106. And when we moved there, we didn't know that we would be engaged in community service like this. People were having problems. We're trying to build stuff up. "Shondra, isn't your husband an attorney? Can he help?" "Sure." We go do, march, city hall, do. And the next thing I know, I'm like, I could do this. Let me run for city council. Bam. Didn't get nothing. 100 votes. My first time. Embarrassed. Didn't know nothing about running for office. I just thought I'd try. Second time, 2018, ran. Tight race. 10 people in the race. We out knocking on doors. We're out making speeches all over the place. We had Second Baptist. We had this one. Nope, didn't get it then. But somebody was watching because I was still doing work. I was still working in the community. I was still doing the stuff that nobody sees. And he said, "Hey, think about running for the assembly." I was like, "That's not what I want to do. You should think about it." So I ran for the assembly and I won. Like 75% of the votes won. Like,
Not trusted. Yeah.
okay. So I go up to the assembly. I'm with Miss Claire and Venetia and all these folks. We working on new laws. What about evictions? What about maternal health? What about decriminalizing jaywalking? And I mean, just working. I mean, it was hard. Came home, went back to work, ran again, won again. And then I said, "This job open." I said, "Well," my husband said to me, "Are you going to run?" "I don't know, baby. I don't know." He was like, "You need to make up your mind. You've wanted to do this. I stand with you. That's why you got to get you a good man, right? A good one who going to do less talking and more work." He said, "I will support you. Win this pocket. Help me with money." Went with me. We knocked on 12,000 plus doors. And the first 10,500 of those doors, it was my husband and me and one other person. We knocked on doors 6 days a week, hot, cold, windy, whatever. God is good. I made it.
All the time.
I made it. And so now the work is in here. Now the work is where I just left, talking to the people who are providers for homeless services on Main Street and how they can do better and what we expect of them and what are they doing to ensure that people are not getting into homelessness, and then how do we get people out of homelessness? How do we rebuild communities that have been disenfranchised, like historic West Las Vegas? How do we ensure that our young people have access to education, good education, that they can go to college, that we're sharing information so that you all know what your opportunities are? How is it that you don't know about U.S. News and World Report and the information that's in there, right? You know why? Because people are not talking. We're not sharing. We're not sharing information with one another. We're not teaching you how to make these steps into the direction that you want. And so that's our fault as grown-ups. We should be talking with each other more and then sharing that information with you. So that's my fault. So I've got to do something. That's how I got into this, because I believe that, yes, it's not fair. Yes, America has failed us. But you know what? Fists up, shoulders back. We have to do what we have to do to help ourselves. And that's your charge. You don't get to just be cute in the tiara. You gotta get work done. This is important. Because if you don't do it for the next generation, if you don't do it for yourselves, what happens to us? What happens to our history? Goes back. It's what we're seeing right now. People are trying to erase.
Mm-hmm.
They got the big black marker out trying to pretend that this stuff didn't happen. I get an email every day from the Truth and Justice people in Alabama, and I keep all of them. And it talks about the horrors that have happened, people that were lynched, burned, murdered, and it's horrible. But you know why I keep them? It's a reminder. Don't ever get comfortable, Shondra. You don't get to sit down and pretend like this didn't happen. Your life ain't that good. Because it's only the strike of a pen, as we saw after Reconstruction, that we ended up with Night Riders and the Ku Klux Klan and Jim Crow. When people don't speak up, it goes back. So I'm just glad you're here. I really am. I talk too much. Any more questions?
I am so happy that you are talking, because we have known each other, what, 7, 8 years?
Yes. Oh,
We were with the history group, the
Yes.
culture group.
Yes.
I've learned more about you in the last half an hour than I have in 7 years.
Because I was there to listen and work.
And I was there just to listen and learn.
Yes, I was there to listen and work. It wasn't about me. It was about me trying to use my whatever I knew to try and help that organization. It wasn't about me.
I came out here on a vacation in 2005, told the grandchildren I was to be back in September before school started. I was asked by the founder of the national organization if I would get Juneteenth started out here. And I said, well, I'm only here for 3 months. Yeah, I'll do what I can to help you. And you said you were married at 18?
I was.
I was married at 16.
Wow.
So I understand what you're saying. I went through whatever the conditions. And I had to go back. I got to GED. I went back and got my associate's degree. But I was always an office worker. I never saw myself in this position, sitting in the mayor's office, sitting in the council office, sitting in chambers, receiving proclamations. 20 years ago, this is a completely different thing for where I'm at today. I started off in Chicago helping out. I was teaching a entrepreneurial class, and I had to go to the Juneteenth office to get my paycheck. And I just started helping out in the office. I was working in the community, the Greater Grand Crossing community. We were going to courts and boarding up the buildings. And I was doing genealogy. And that is where it led me into Juneteenth, which is where I am today. Telling people that you have to go back and find your relatives. You have to find out your family history and know that Macmillan textbook that was out about 10 years ago that said we were happy-go-lucky interns. We were unpaid, but we were interns. We were not enslaved in Texas. And that was a school book. We were not allowed to read. And I started with comic books. I worked my way up comic books, sci-fi, romance, one book a day. I was like you. I appreciate this. I see there are more connections now than I knew. And I hope these young ladies are listening because, like I said, I've learned a lot today. Mia, questions? Anyone? Charlie?
Yes.
Okay.
In your position, can you run for president?
Anyone
like,
can run for
lead
president.
to it.
Anyone can run for president. I prefer local work. There's so much to be done here at home. And people often ask, I should say, oh girl, what's next? Anybody here play sports? I heard somebody, okay, what do you play?
Cheer and volleyball.
Cheer and volleyball. Okay, you? Basketball.
I run track.
Okay, all right. You play volleyball. So when you go up, you set or do you spike?
Set.
You set. So when you're setting the ball, do you look at the ball while you're setting or do you look across the net while you're setting?
I look across the net.
So you don't watch the ball when you're setting?
No, I watch where I'm trying to go.
You watch where you're trying to go. Okay, and you play basketball? Do you watch the ball get to your hand or are you looking away?
I watch the ball.
Okay. When you are taking you do the relays?
I have, yes.
Okay. When it's time to pass that baton, are you looking down in front of you or are you looking back to make sure that you've got that baton in your hand?
I'm looking down in front of me.
You're looking in front of you. But you know where you're going.
I give the baton.
You give. Your first leg?
I am.
Okay. But you have to keep your eye on the person that you're giving that baton to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tennis player. Played a lot of basketball. Pretty good tennis player when I was playing. And when I played tennis, people always said, my good coaches, that in order to be a good tennis player, you have to watch the ball all the way to the racket, then you can look forward. Right? You know where you want to hit the ball. I know I want to go cross court. I planted my feet. My racket is back, but I have to see that ball all the way. And I want to get a good hit. I believe in concentrating on the work that's before me. Right. Sure, I could run for president. I could run for Congress or Senate or commission or whatever. Why? There's so much work to do right here. If I'm in Washington, D.C., how do I get to see you? If I'm in Washington, D.C., how do I get to know what you're doing? How do I have access to you? How do you get to come and see me? How do you get to call or email or like we go have lunch or whatever, right? The work is right here. To me, this is where it's most important. Sure, national politics is important and we have to have good people do that work. But the only thing I have ever cared about is what is going on in the 89106, the 89108, the 89030, the 89101. Those are my neighbors. They're the people that I love. My kids have gone to school with their kids. I go to PDAC and I'm like loving it, crying because I just know how important it is. The library, the West Las Vegas Library, where I learned everything I needed to know about building a house and making a space for my kids. Western High School where my kids played sports and A-Tech where my kids got a good education. I mean, sure, Washington is great, but I'm home. I get to do work right here. So this is what I care about. And when my time is over, I'll let God lead me. But really, this is really where I want to be, right here. So I can be engaged with what's happening with you and with this community. So, sure. Yeah, you could. Question? Don't you? Yes.
So do you like your job or would you do it, or is there like something else you wanted to do but you somehow got caught on it?
At 16, I probably would have wanted to be a fashion designer. I would have wanted to be in New York, designing clothes, traveling the world, having models on runways. I was ordained to do this. It's not by accident. It's been a path that is unbelievable. And I don't say I would have done anything differently. This is a blessing. This is a privilege. I wouldn't want to be anyplace else right now, ever, because the path that got me here is an unbelievable path. I grew up in East Oakland. I mean, tell me your name.
Marquita.
Marquita. She knows where I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The Oakland Stadium,
Coliseum.
the Coliseum complex, where the Raiders played and the A's played and Golden State Warriors played basketball. Their exit was one exit from where I lived. Never went to a game. Couldn't afford to go. We could hear the fireworks. We could hear the noise. Never went to a game. And now here they are, all trying to come to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My life was so sheltered, and we didn't have the resources to be frivolous to go to a ball game.
Mm-hmm.
We had to live, like food, like rent, and mortgage, and car payments. I mean, it was a real thing. And that experience, living in that community, it was rough, gives me an appreciation for the work that I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Rode the bus, 83E
Mm-hmm.
to East
72.
14th. At to
72, the 81,
Come on
88.
now. Over to, she knows where is now, it's International Boulevard. When I was coming up, it was East 14th.
Exactly. Emma's Fish.
It was crazy,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's what makes me the leader that I am. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I can tell you how to ride the bus in Vegas. My kids, we've always had a car, but them black boys know how to use the app and ride the bus. Why is that important?
Yeah, because I know.
Because you can't lead if you have... I don't believe that you can be a good leader if you have no experience with the people that you are leading.
Mm-hmm.
How can I tell you how important it is for our bus stops to have shelters if I've never had to ride the bus? How can I say to you, or with conviction, advocate for wider sidewalks and trees in our communities if I've never had to walk down Martin Luther King in the heat without trees? So when I say to people, we need trees in our communities are hot. I'm telling you that because I took the 208 from Alta, got off my job at the RTC, hopped on that bus and rode that 208 when it went up Martin Luther King and got off at Martin Luther King in Washington and had to walk west on Martin Luther King on Washington in the heat and the cold and the wind. And I had that experience. So when I'm talking to people about the importance of trees and I'm talking to people about the importance of wider sidewalks, I'm not talking about it academically. I'm talking about it because I have felt that. And I have walked with children, young people, old people, and seen them struggling on the street. So when I say we need trees and wider sidewalks, I mean that from here. And I couldn't have done that if I didn't have the experience. I don't regret one moment. Not one. Anybody else? Mamas?
Surely do. I got no. Okay, so in the similar, I feel like in high school or even now, like a lot of people we know of just the major president, things like that. So you saying that about like the homelessness and like we have all these casinos and I'm like, there's some that's not even open. So I'm like, why can't they be housed there? It'd be certain things that just be popping into my mind where it's like they're real, to me, seems like easy fixes because again, I did grow up in the Bay in West Oakland where it wasn't the best, you know? So you come from a different type of grit that you understand that living like this was a good decision for my family. It was hard to have my husband leave a town that he's never left before. So if the Raiders didn't come, who's to say? Okay, that's how I was able to get us out. But I want to give her these opportunities to be able to be in spaces where she knows that she is welcomed. She knows that, again, she is the one that wants to help the bully. She is not the bulliers, the ones who
Yes.
are being bullied. She is the girl's girl who wants to make sure that everybody is treated equal, right? So I appreciate these spaces that you have, but I didn't even know you say you're an assemblywoman. So was assemblywoman. So what are you now?
City council.
City council. So the city. See, I feel like I don't even know like the pillars or the different things, but we need to know more. TikTok is where everybody is at. I feel like the bridge of the gap is going to be that where we are talking to our kids because our kids are watching that. So if we want to be able to have a space for them to know who we are, and I love that you are very personable and you are real. And that's what we need our young girls to be able to see, that you are a mom. You are more than just your title.
Well, I never want people to look at me by my title, right? Because titles come and go. Who are you at the core of your being? If you don't have anything in front of your name, who are you? Who are you? Do you know who you are? I was Shondra way before any of this happened. Way before. Nobody knew who I was. I said it earlier, I was still doing work in the community because it was important to me. People know who I am now. I got a little shine. But where were you in 2000 when we were having meetings at the old, it's Cox building now, but it used to be the AD guy. It was for veterans building, right? Nobody knew. We were out there every week working on stuff. Nobody knew. Nobody saw me when I was walking door to door to get stuff done in our neighborhood. Nobody knew who I was. It was okay. Sometimes working without people knowing who you are gives you the strength to learn how to do things harder and bigger, right? And I think you're right, Mom. We don't have a real understanding of civics. Would love to talk with you ladies and get ideas. You see this handsome young man here, Mr. Murray. He's going to be helping us he's an intern, with some of our social media stuff so that we can get some of these. I believe that civics is missing and that there is a real opportunity for us to talk about civics. When we were kids, we had, I'm just a bill. A little bit, right? Something on Capitol Hill, right? And it was goofy. It was Schoolhouse Rock, right?
Man.
But we love that stuff. We got to figure out how to talk with you all about civics so that you understand that we have 3 areas of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. And how that works on every single level. And we got to just talk about it. We got to learn about it because there are ways for you to serve at every level. This is local, city. But what's over the city? County. The next level over there is the legislative, state. And what's after that is our federal. And there's work to do at every single level. Work. Not cute. Right. No. Work. And it is hard. It is hard. But you got what it takes. You just got to flex your muscle and learn the game and figure out how to make it work. Because we're all getting older, those of us who are in positions. We need city council members. We need people at the legislature. Do you know that the legislature only meets here once every other year? And once every other year. But they're the people who decide all the laws for criminal, what's a civil penalty. They decide how much money goes to the school district. They decide if big corporations like the Raiders or the A's or now the film industry get tax dollars to open their businesses, and how those tax dollars are forced to be used in your community. You give this big company a bunch of money. Are they required to come in your community and make jobs?
Mm-hmm.
How many jobs? What do those jobs pay?
Thank you. Ooh.
How many houses can a big corporation out of New York City buy up in our neighborhoods? All those things are determined by the legislature. That job is huge, and we don't talk about it.
That's a necessary one.
It's huge.
Yeah, because when you don't talk about it, then you don't understand how you lost your neighborhood.
Come on. And we are losing neighborhoods. When I came here in 1990 with this military husband and these two babies, in 1992, we bought our first house. Bonanza and Nellis, right between Stewart and Bonanza. We paid $94,500 for a 3-bedroom, 1,350 square foot, 2.5 bath house. 1.5 bath.
Come on.
Two bath house.
Did it have a pool?
No pool. Corner lot,
You should ask.
little teeny house. Mortgage was $700 a month, and I thought I was going to die.
Mm.
It felt like it was so much money.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get a house right now under $385,000, and most people can't even afford that. And you know why it's so bad? Because we have big corporations that are buying up all the houses, and they get to determine what the price is. And many of them are like, yeah, we're not going to sell these. We're going to hold on to this.
Mm-hmm. Run them out.
And we're going to charge you rent.
Yeah.
Last month it was $2,000. Next month is $2,500. The following month is $3,000. 6 months it'll be $3,500
Mm-hmm.
for you to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That's my wheelhouse.
That's the legislature. It's really, really important. And it's hard. You have to pick up your little life, pack your bags, and live in Carson City for 120 days. If you're lucky, you can come home on the weekends. But if you're working hard, you know you can't come home every weekend. So Miss Claire and Venetia and I pretty much only came home once every other weekend. They left their families. I left my husband and my son. I was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, we all right. This is the 31 years of marriage husband. And he held it down while I was up there. Oh my gosh. Wait, did you see this? Claire, what did you, Venetia? We calling all night, reading, trying to make sure we're making a good decision. Doing good is hard.
Mm-hmm.
But who else is going to do it if not you? I'm depending on you. Because you're going to care. Other people, they may not care. They may not have your experience. They're not going to know the Emancipation Proclamation. They're not going to understand what the 13th Amendment means. How important it is that we're not putting people in jail for silliness so that they can be enslaved. Because right now, that's how you can do it. We had a law, I swear to you, I couldn't believe it when my first year in 2021. Jaywalking. Jaywalking. Criminal offense. Hemmed up for jaywalking. There were 8,500 plus warrants out for jaywalking.
We know what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? You running for the bus? Like I told you, I rode the bus, right?
I'm not gonna
Trying to make that connection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut over as close as I can get. Get hemmed up for jaywalking. Get a ticket. That ticket grows and grows and grows. And now they can pick you up and put you in jail for a jaywalking ticket. Craziness. This is why it's important that you are engaged. Because if you've run for a bus, you know what that feels like. If you sat at a bus stop and you waiting for the bus, you know what that feels like. I see one of my regulators is here.
Councilwoman?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have about 10 minutes and then you need to wrap up for your lunch and then you have a following meeting.
We appreciate you.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
You all, I thank you so much for being here. So if you have questions, there's business cards out there. Please email. If there's anything, please reach out. Before you leave, remember U.S. News and World Reports. Read that, get that. That's where you can find out where the schools that rate high for the things that you want to do. If you haven't chosen a school already, keep your options open. HBCUs are amazing, and I think that you find one, you should go to one. But if you are unsure, there are other places that have opportunity for you. Do not be scared to be outside of Nevada. There's a whole wide world. A whole wide world. And you have every right to enjoy it.
Oh.
Every right. Don't cut yourself short. Don't let fear stop you. Go. Go. Be great. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate y'all.
Will you do one picture with everybody?